What happens when you offer almost 190 bhp of power and 400 Nm of torque into a compact luxury SUV? Well, that translates into recipe for fun. Now, off late, I have driven a lot of GL offerings from Mercedes in India. The GLC was last year, then the bigger GLE, and just a few days back, I had the limo SUV, the GLS. But this thing is completely opposite. This is the entry into the world of SUVs from Mercedes-Benz. GL basically means the SUV lineup from the three-pointer star. Now, a bit about the model itself. The first GLA came to India 10 years back in 2014, and then a generation update in 2020, and now 4 years down the line, a proper facelift for the baby GL, for the baby SUV from the house of Mercedes-Benz. Now, this one will be offered in India with a choice of two engine options. There is a 1.4 turbo petrol. Don't be fooled by the small capacity. It offers 160 bhp of power. And then there is this one, the one I like and love, the turbo diesel with 188 bhp of power and 400 Nm of torque. And of course, the power goes to all the four wheels. In terms of the trims on offer, the two versions, a progressive line and the AMG line. The AMG line is only with the diesel, and I'm happy to have that for the shoot as well. Now, the talking point has to be the performance on offer. This is the most fun to drive GL on offer in the country. But before I get to the driving part, a quick look at the exteriors and the interiors, and then I will hit the road. Well, a while back we had a full herd of sheep around the GL, and now we have two playful mongrels. I'll try to get them out of the frame and then I'll talk to you about the exteriors. So the exteriors of the GLA, this is more of a facelift, so there are changes to the grille, the headlights, the bumpers at both the ends, and because it's the AMG lineup, you have the AMG treatment for the GLA in the way the grille looks like, and of course the big logo sitting right over here. You have the Mercedes branding on the bonnet as well. The bumper is different in the progressive line, more on the sportier side, and then look at the headlamps. I like this LED treatment on the headlamps. There are four main inserts on the inside, of course, your DRLs spicing up the front of the car. On the side profile, because you have the AMG lineup, you have the AMG spec 19-inch alloy wheels. The normal progressive line has 18-inch alloy wheels, but these fill up the gap very, very well. Do they rob the car of ride quality? Well, allow me a few minutes to explain that as well. At the back, as expected, you have LED treatment for the tail lights. They are not connected like most of the modern day smaller compact SUVs and mid-size SUVs in the country, but they do the job very, very well. It's 4MATIC, power goes to all the four wheels. You have the 4MATIC branding over here, the Merc logo, and this is the 220d. On the bottom side, you have a dual exhaust setup to give you a hint of what this thing can do on the road. So the car still looks like the older GLA, but the new add-ons and the differentiating elements are on the bumpers, the headlights, the DRLs, the grille, the logo, and the rear setup over here. Now, as expected, there are changes on the inside as well, and the most important in my books has to be the steering wheel. This is something you're always holding and gives you command over the road. It's the AMG version, so you have an AMG flat bottom steering with contrast red stitching. The same kind of contrast stitching is there across the interiors, on the door pads and on the seats as well. I particularly love the gap between the spokes over here. This gives you a sense of driving a very premium luxury SUV. Of course, paddle shifters behind this as well. Then you have the updated MBUX system with the wireless connectivity for both CarPlay and Android Auto. The connected screens are something you've seen in other Merc models, and you can change the display of the speedometer from the buttons over here. These are still feather touch buttons, not the proper physical ones that you press. On the other front, you have more space coming in over here. It's the same kind of space on the inside, but the layout has been different. Wireless charging on this part, couple of cup holders, and more space to keep your second or third phone. You have the button to select the drive modes and a very easy to use rotary dial for the speed, for the volume adjustment on the infotainment system. And of course, the armrest also has a sizable amount of space over here. Two C-type charging outlets here and one C-type over here. So 3 charging outlets for 2 people up front. With the AMG lineup, you also have a carbon finish trim on the left side of the dashboard, and across the interiors, you have soft touch materials on the dash, on the doors, on the lower parts. So this is something I definitely like and love. In terms of space, I stand 6 feet tall, and even then you can make out, in spite of the sunroof panel, I have a couple of inches of headroom left over here, and the visibility part is not bad at all. Of course, we have the cameras coming in to give you a proper view of the what's happening around the car as well. You can turn that off very easily. What's more, with the AMG line, you only get the all black interiors. With the progressive line, you can choose from a couple of options, the lighter or the darker shades. So that's about the first row. Space in the second row for your family and friends. Let's go over there. Now this is a big surprise. I was not expecting the baby GL to be so spacious at the back for a tall person. The driver's seat is currently for my height, so one tall person driving the car and a tall person can sit behind with approximately 3 to 4 inches of knee room. Phenomenal. Now if you're using the car as a 4-seater, you can basically take this down and use it as an armrest. No cup holders, but this can be used as an armrest. What's more, the all black interiors, but it's not claustrophobic because of the huge panoramic sunroof and the amount of glass area over here. Again, look at the headroom, approximately a couple of inches. If you are from Punjab, my friends from Punjab wearing a turban, in case you're 5'8", 5'9", you should have no issue at the back seat of the GLA. Other things, a couple of AC vents and 2 seat-up charging outlets come in over here. The seats are scooped very well. That only adds to the knee room factor on the inside of the GLA. The boot space remains the same, and if you, in case you're opening this particular part of the seat, you can access the boot as well. So a quick look at the boot, and then I get to the driving part. So this is a small piece of function that will add to your ease of using the GLA on a daily basis, and the boot is pretty good to put in 3 or 4 medium-sized suitcases, and then you can also split the seat in a 40-20-40 manner. So happy to see a proper hydraulic setup on a small compact luxury SUV. Now I told you it's a 2-liter turbo diesel engine belting out 188 horses and 400 Nm of torque. The power is going to all the 4 wheels, and you have a 8-speed automatic transmission coming into the picture. The petrol, on the other hand, gets a 7-speed automatic. More figures, it is an efficient car as well, as much as 18.9 kmpl as per ARI certification, and it's quick. Merc claims 0 to 100 in 7.5 seconds. That's like a small sports car. So how does it look like? Well, let's start with the driving parameter. And now on the driving part of the GLA 220d. Now this has always been a involving car to drive in the segment, and this one is no different. I want to speak about the figures first. How quick is it from 0 to 100 or 120? Well, before the figure comes up, the display comes up, it's got driving modes in terms of the eco, comfort, sport, individual and off-road. Sport is very important because in the bigger GLs, the ones I drove recently, GLS or GLE, sport is missing, but that is very much present in the GLA. Just shows you that Merc also wants you to enjoy this car whenever you can in the right kind of environment coming in. So how quick is it? How quick is a diesel SUV? Well, see for yourself. Well, outright acceleration aside, how is the car to drive on a daily basis? Been driving it since morning around Delhi, NCR, Noida, Greater Noida, and I must admit this is a good setup. If you're a rear seat passenger, you can't make out it's a diesel engine under the hood, but yes, up front, even while overtaking others, the diesel engine will make itself felt in terms of noise. Vibration and harshness are definitely well controlled, but in terms of noise, you can make out it's a diesel engine. Apart from that, the 8-speed automatic. Now, closing in on gaps in moving traffic or overtaking slow moving cars is not a task. The engine does the transmission does the job very well, and you can make it quicker by using the paddle shifters as well. That is a plus point. The engine has a tendency to be in the torquey part of the rev band. It doesn't upshift very quickly, which basically petrol engines do for the fuel economy parameter, but with the diesel engine, it ensures you are in the torque part of the entire rev range, and that basically means even with the full load and the AC running, in case you want the punch coming in, that will definitely happen. Now, depending upon which mode you are in, the steering effort will definitely change. The way the steering behaves will definitely change, but I've been driving it 90% of time in the comfort mode, and I have no complaints from the steering setup. The GLA has always been known to be a good handling vehicle. Of course, the ride is tuned towards providing you comfort, but that aside, even when you attack a corner or around roundabouts and tight curves, the GLA will not disappoint you. In terms of visibility, I stand 6 feet tall. I can see the muscular edges of the bonnet. The mirrors are reasonably large,
And so even for short drivers with the powered seats coming in, you will not have a issue driving in congested traffic. You won't feel hammered in or claustrophobic at all. The GLA diesel also has long legs, basically out on open roads between two states or two cities. You can happily cruise at 120 all day long. Around the 100 mark in the 8th gear, it will easily deliver around 18 kmpl, which is fantastic for your cross-country runs. And a lot of expressways in India are now allowing you 120, and at those speeds, even changing lanes or overtaking fast-moving traffic or with the crosswinds, you do not have to worry. The overall calmness factor, the stability factor of the GLA is right there up with the best. If I had one small shortcoming from the GLA's ride, it's got to be the amount of road noise filtering into the cabin. I'm not on perfect tarmac right now, and a lot of road noise is getting picked up from the tires and coming inside the cabin. But apart from that, I do not find a fault with the GLA. It is fast, it is involving, and when you want to relax in traffic, it will do the job very well. Plus, it is efficient as well. Now, it does get a lot of features in terms of safety from Merc. You have the active brake assist, you have blind spot assist, you have ESP coming in. So all those factors along with 7 airbags takes care of the safety parameter. One more tight roundabout. Feels agile, it feels stable, it feels nice. And if I power out, so you can make out it's a diesel engine, but it's not too intrusive. Last but not the least, the ride quality of the GLA. This is the AMG lineup, so you get bigger 19-inch alloy wheels as compared to 18 on the progressive line. In this one, the sidewall is thinner. So does that rob the car of quality, ride quality? Well, I'm coming up on a sharp speed breaker. It's not that bad. It's a very, very minor shortcoming for what is an exciting whole package. Mind you, for normal undulations, for normal speed breakers, you don't feel uncomfortable. For sharp undulations or sharp speed breakers, you can feel that firmness coming in, which is expected from this setup.
Now, I do agree cars are getting expensive across all segments every single passing year in the Indian market, but sometimes the pricing is not in the hands of the manufacturer, it's beyond their control. Anyways, a step into the SUV worlds of Mercedes-Benz will be over ₹500 crore in terms of the ex-showroom price, but that is a single-time investment. If you do that, beyond that, you will be living a power-packed experience with the GLA without cutting any corners, in terms of design, safety, features, or the important involvement factor. Could I ever recommend a diesel SUV for the fun to drive factor? Well, I've just done that with the GLA 220d.